And this is indeed an academic exercise. Therefore, certain academic standards will have been expected. The judges evaluated, in all cases, the specific content of the presentations by both members of the opposition and proposition. Some assessment was done about the style of the presentations made. And it was necessary in an academic exercise that one was clear about the definition of the key terms that were to be discussed. It was also absolutely critical that an assessment of the evidence of research that was done, supported by empirical data. Some general comments that we want to make on both debates, and this should help you as the two teams that will go forward to be cognizant of. We found that too many generalizations were made without corroborating scientific or empirical data. And either team allowed the generalizations to go unchallenged. And this brings me to the point of information, in which this is an important element of the debate that can be used to either refute an assertion that has been made, to seek clarification on a perceived misconception, or to refute completely that which has been given as fact but can be contradicted with diametrically opposed empirical data. We thought in the first debate specifically the important issue of the divisiveness of West Indies cricket was not dealt with in as comprehensive and compelling manner that it could have been dealt with. In terms of the style, we wanted to recommend to the debater that it is useful if there is some moderation in your tone, because in doing so, one becomes much more effective in your delivery. We also discovered in both debates that there was an unusually high level of verbatim reading in which people stuck to the script. And we have to be mindful that the debate is essentially an academic discussion in which one is listening and refuting. And if you come with a prepared text and you want to stick to it, you're not likely to deal as effectively as you can in the rebuttal. In the first debate, the Caribbean was essentially defined as an Anglo-Saxon entity, forgetting, of course, that in this region we can find Dutch-speaking, French-speaking, Portuguese-speaking, and the opposite team could have dealt with that in a very compelling manner. We thought that both of the debates were very close. It was instructive that in the second debate, a clearly defined outline of an intrinsic difference between procreation and parenthood was made, and this was extremely effective. We also want to comment that in that debate, because the definition as proposed by members of the proposition was not accepted, the opposition team effectively redefined the critical terms from their sphere of reference, and this to our mind, was quite an effective strategy in promoting your own thesis. A word about quotation as you go forward. It is always useful when you are going to use quotations to ensure that there is some coherent link with issue that you're going to be debating. Too often, both debates, names were mentioned and the names were not put into some sociological or intellectual context. So the student or the viewer from St. Vincent perhaps, or Jamaica will be viewing this on the internet, hearing the name Stevenson Worm, without it being put into a particular context, is useless. And therefore one needs to bring a certain specificity to the author. Who is he? What is his claim to fame? And indeed, Stephen Worm has written extensively on West Indies cricket and can be in fact be deemed and has been deemed in some quarters to be an expert. We thought that the poster of Sarah was demonstratively quite effective. In fact, the second speaker, the second debate should be commended, but there could have been much more effective follow-up in order to make that much more graphic. So those were the general observations we'd want to make, and it now behoves me to reflect the opinion of the judges, and in every debate, the opinion of the judges were unanimous. In the first debate, the judges were of the opinion that the school earning 194.5 points against the one who earned 170 is the winner. But which school earned 194.5 points? 194 points would have been earned by the St. Joseph's Conference. Secured 181 points compared to the opposition. Westmoreland Secondary, 191.5. Thank you very much.